God is good? When I look at the world, I see more misfortune than goodness. God is good to the point of enslaving his people against their enemies. God is good. He never answers your prayers and lets misfortune and anguish invade you. God is good. Stop saying that God is good. It is English. God is good. The English-speaking world lives well. So it is plausible to insinuate to them that God is good. It is possible to insinuate that the chosen people are not really the chosen people, because God has given more benefits to the enemies of his people than to his own people. Just the fact of insinuating that God chooses his servants makes God an unjust God. After all, God does not choose his chosen ones according to the goodness of their hearts. God chooses them according to his capacity to manipulate his elect. God is not good. To say that God is good is to attribute human feelings to him. It is more accurate to say that God is neutral, neither good nor bad. In French, God can mean the observer, so borrow the eye of God to make your judgment on God. God makes us see horror movies as well as love movies, action movies as well as laughter movies, comedies, tragedies, sometimes dramatic and sometimes inspiring. God is neither good nor bad. It is our judgment that qualifies him. God has never claimed to be good. God has tortured his people more than any other people. God has exterminated his people more than any other people who have lived on earth. Certainly God has made his people the chosen people, but they are only chosen in discrimination, racism, and isolation. The chosen people must serve as a model for others, but no nation on earth would like to resemble the chosen people. God is so much love that he let his son die on the cross. Understand that this is not love, but helplessness or abandonments. God never intervenes in the foreground, otherwise he would have resurrected his son on the cross in front of everyone, as everyone demanded. Instead, he resurrected him in the background, where there were not many people to contemplate the resurrection of Christ, except for his fellow men. When a baby is born, he cries as if he had sinned for the first time. Babies are neither good nor bad, only innocent and fragile. It is this fragility that parents protect. The chosen people are like a baby. They did not ask to be chosen, that is to say, to follow the martyrs that God proposes to them in the Bible. It is in this sense that even the Prophet Muhammad is a victim of Allah. God has abandoned his throne to the devil. It is right to insinuate this when we associate evil with the devil and good with God. The devil is also the son of Allah. That is to say that, like his angels, the devil is also the power of Allah. In Dragon Ball, we separate the God of creation from the God of destruction, to say that one is good and the other bad. If Allah created us to destroy us, how is he good? Do not associate goodness with Allah or misfortune with the devil. Associate mercy with Allah and forgiveness with the devil, because the devil has been badly judged by God. That is why the end is delayed. Each of us awaits the end of the world as if we had suffered enough. It is better to die than to suffer torture. In life, there are those who live their dream and those who live hell. Others are in between and therefore devoid of judgment. If we had to take the proportion of the unhappy versus the proportion of the happy, unhappiness is more present. Hence the prayers to God, so that he interacts with our remorse. I have never seen God answer anyone's prayers, not even mine. The only thing that humans agree to is a better life in paradise. Paradise and hell are only illusions. Illusions for the soul. When we die, our wish is to rest in peace. Less trouble and less disturbance. There is that which believes in the hell of flames. Can you imagine it possible to burn for eternity? No, it is impossible. First, by eternal time. Whatever crimes we have committed, this eternal fate of flames is too long. Similarly, there are those who believe they will have women eternally in paradise. Understand that it is a paradise for men and not for women. What does the Quran promise women? Nothing. Their paradise is to be the laughingstock of their men. So these two concepts of paradise and hell are false. It does not exist. Just as immortality in the flesh does not exist. For us to become truly immortal, time would have to stop moving. Thus, we will no longer age and will remain the same age for eternity. Men and women will no longer be able to have children, and children will remain children forever. But hey, this is just me giving ideas to God. He has already pre-established his plan. No one knows his plans, and the prophets are only his martyrs that he uses to achieve his ends. The idea that God is good is certainly a notion of the English language, but also of those who saw in Jesus a God. Lucifer was said to be perfectly good. Christians say the same thing about Jesus, that he is perfectly good. If God is neither good nor bad, understand that it is Satan's trick to come and say of God that he is perfectly good. The Old Testament contains an unjust, ungrateful, and defamatory God. The New Testament contains a God closer to us. Associated in this sense, the goodness of God in his only Son, and the neutrality in the Father. The devil, just like the Father, are neither good nor bad. The idea of good and evil comes from us humans, because we have eaten the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. In the end, that is the biblical explanation, as if to say that the sense that governs good and evil is taste. Taste is therefore not color, visual, but taste is palpable and therefore testable. And everyone has their own tastes in the foods they like to eat, hence the disorder. Stop saying that God is good when he likes disorder. Is God so good that he created hell? No, God neither created hell nor created heaven. These are human concepts and ideals. If the world is going so badly, is it because God is good? Review your judgment. There is neither good nor bad in God, only neutrality. Do not associate feelings with God. This is sin, and the personification of God. God knows how to give and take away. Do not expect God to come to your aid. For God, life is a film that he gave himself and, by ricochet, that he contemplates. God lets it happen. Hence the name Lucifer. Let it happen. God is neutral. He has no feelings. This is why he created death and why he has no difficulty forgetting the dead. God creates and destroys. It is his immortal art, like that of Sasori and Deidara. God never said of himself that he was good. His mercy justifies his inaction and his lack of intervention. God of men and not of women. His promises are for men and not women. Where is the goodness in that? It is in this sense that the devil is the equal of God. There is no notion of good and evil between them. Only the notion of the one who will amass the most faithful and believers to his cause. Like a father-son competition, a distinct philosophy. With God, all that is good ends badly, and with the devil, all that is bad ends well. The reverse is also true. Hell is on earth, and the devil laughs. Paradise is nowhere, and God is disappearing.